Mohammed Sabo Nanono was born on the 11th of April 1946. He attended Zakaria and Gwazo Primary School between 1958 and 1961. Also attended Birnin Kudu Secondary School, where he obtained his West African School Certificate examination in 1966. He attended the University of Wisconsin in the United States of America, where he had his master's in public policy and administration in 1977. He also attended Harvard Business School in 1994. He had a BSc in business administration from the Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria.
Distinguished colleagues.
Yes, it's now set for the screening.
The next nominee is Alhaji Sabo Nanono, the nominee representing Kano State. Mr. Nominee, you are welcome to the Senate. And we have so you can speak to your CV and those issues in your CV that you feel very strongly about that the Senate needs to take note of, you can highlight them. You can address the Senate.
Thank you very much, sir. The Senate President, the Deputy Senate President, the leaders of the Senate, my distinguished senators from Kano, Alhaji Kabir Gaya, Alhaji Barao Jibring, and Malam Ibrahim Shekarau. I will also seize this opportunity to distinguish one of my mentors and one we are in the same trade, Malam Abdullahi Adamu, as senator from Nasarawa. Distinguished senators, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Mohammed Sabo Nanono. I was born April 1946 at Tofai, the great district of Gabasawa local government. I am married with 2 wives. I had my primary school at Zakri and Gorzo, both in Gorzo and the Gabasa local, and both in Gabasa and the Gorzo local government respectively. I had my higher school certificate at Government College Kano, from which I proceeded to ABU, where I read business administration and graduated in 1972. I had my master's degree in the University of Wisconsin-Madison, USA, in public policy and administration with specialization in development economics. I also attended the prestigious advanced management program at Harvard in May 1994. I attended various courses at World Bank Organization, at the Administrative College of India, seminars on various world capital market organized by Business Research Institute International in October 1981 to 1982. Various seminars organized by Chartered Institute of Bankers Nigeria, Fellow Institute of Management Consultant, and the member Nigerian Institute of Management. I also attended the prestigious forum of Forbes Annual Forum 1997 and 1998, both at Los Angeles and Phoenix, USA. My employment record, I started with a grade C clerk with Central Bank of Nigeria, January to September 1969. Then I went as lecturer at Institute of Administration, ABU Zaria. Then from there, I resigned and joined New Nigerian Development Company in Kaduna. Thereafter, I was made Managing Director of Kano State Investment and Properties Limited under late Abubakar Rimi government. From there, I resigned, and I proceeded to Bank of North, where I grew from an assistant general manager to executive director, and I left somewhere in 1990. I was later appointed general manager and managing director of African International Bank, respectively. I have been a member of several board companies, most of them institutional representation, but there are some that are personal representation. I think my CV has attested to that. I also serve on many committees at the state government level, Governing Council, Kano State Foundation, Subcommittee on Privatization and Commercialization, Hade Jama'ar River Basin Development Authority, Commercialization, Kano State Privatization and Commercialization as chairman, member Kano State Elders Forum, chairman May 11th Crisis in Kano, and chairman Arewa Consultation Forum, Kano chapter. I have been active in politics, and as you can see, I was the chairman of CPC Elders Forum, Kano State, chairman CPC Merger Committee, chairman APC Merger Committee, deputy financial secretary and member, ACF National Working Committee, Petroleum Kano Youth Promotion Council, and so on and so on. My career in the financial institution, both development and commercial, ran a space of about 17 years. But in the year 2000, I retired to the farm, and I have been in the farming business for the last 40 or so years. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Well, before we take the questions, let me welcome members of the House of Representatives who accompanied the nominee, including, of course, the one and only Nasser Gabasawa. Nasser Gabasawa served in the 1999 House of Representatives, and of course he has been around. You are all welcome. Thank you. Distinguished Senator Sadiq Suleiman Umar.
Thank you, Mr. President, sitting as chair. My distinguished colleagues, I am Sadiq Suleiman Umar. I represent the decent people of Kwara North. Congratulations, Mr. Nominee.
Thank you very much.
I have two questions. One, I just want to know your opinion. The other one, I want you to give us a suggestion in this country. For your opinion, do you think Nigeria is a rich country? Barely get less than 3% of this.
Pardon me, please.
Okay. I said that I'm sure that we are aware that as we said that by 2050, that's a 3 people's time, Nigeria will be the most populous nation. Overtaking USA and behind just China and India. Again, I'm sure Kano is going to be a champion in contributing to, that's over 400 million people in Nigeria. What
I think, as you rightly said, Nigeria is a great country with an enormous amount of resources. I think what is needed to move forward, one, let us have the political will and the desire to move forward. Two, let us forge unity among ourselves and organize ourselves for the challenges ahead. Three, I would like to point out, if you take the agricultural sector alone, and we organize it in the way and the manner that it can be developed, we are likely to be the richest country, at least in the West African sub-region and in the African region, and also in most of the countries in Europe. But I think our problem is to have a defined, proper political will that will assist us in moving forward. I wish to state that the GDP of this country is about 70% of the total GDP. Yeah. Of the 70% of the total GDP of the West African countries. And most of them depend on us, on food supplies and other things. In fact, it is said, for every dollar that we import things from outside, about $30 goes to the West African sub-region. So I think with the proper political will, the sky for Nigeria is the limit. Thank you very much.
Senator Aladi Sankara.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As usual, my name is Kano Sakara, presenting Jigawa now. Mr. Chairman, distinguished colleagues, our people said, if you want to know a man, or if you want to know a person, ask his neighbor. I think it happened that I'm from Jigawa State. Nanono is from Kano State. I know Nanono. He's a very nice person. He's a good leader. He led us since during PDP. And he achieved a lot during his activities in Kano State. Therefore, those who did not know him, they have to know the person called Nanono. He's highly respected, a man of integrity. Mr. Nominee, I wish you all the best. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Can I support?
Senator Kabir Ga, Senator Baro Jibril, and Senator Shekarau, Ibrahim Shekarau, in that order.
Mr. President, sitting in chair, my distinguished colleagues, I am Kabir Gaya, represent the people of Kano South from Kano State. I would like to appreciate and thank President Muhammad Buhari for choosing you to serve in this cabinet. I believe your words of experience will be added to the governance of this administration. Mr. President and my distinguished colleagues, this gentleman is our elder. I've learned a lot from him. When I started my politics early, he was one of my mentors. Since early 1988 when I started politics. We value him, we cherish him. Not only that, he's an alumni of ABU, an alumni of Harvard University, a lecturer in ABU area, an MD in Kano State Investment, MD African International Bank. Also, to cap it all, he's a traditional ruler. And from And also, Mr. President of the Senate, I'm so glad that he's a nominee. He, just like Buhari, is a non-corrupt officer or a non-corrupt person who we very value and cherish. I wish you best of luck, and I'm appealing to my colleagues, let him buy and go and serve us as the new Minister of Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you, Mr. President.
Senator Walo Jibril.
Thank you, Mr. President. Sitting as the chairman of the Committee of the Whole. Mr. President, there's a saying that goes this way: show me your friend and I'll tell you who you are. This man, the nominee, is a close associate of President Muhammad Buhari. Therefore, I don't have to tell you what he stands for. He's a man that is upright, that has integrity, that's always passionate in serving his people. Wherever you see him, if you ask him what he's doing there, or if you find out what he's doing there, you will get to know that he's there serving his people. If you further go forward to ask, where is he coming from? You find out that he's coming from somewhere that he had to serve his people. If you also ask him or find out where he's going to, you find out that if he leaves this very point, he's going to serve his people somewhere. So he's a man that's always there to serve his people. You can see his resume, very rich. He had worked in several areas, in different capacities, where he was able to serve meritoriously. And after his sojourn in several sectors of the Nigerian economy, and he got retired, he said, look, I'm retired, but I'm not tired. He's still passionate. He's still passionate in serving his people, and he decided that he would go into agriculture, where he's working with our rural dwellers who are peasant farmers, always rendering help to them by helping them to source for fertilizer and other farming implements that they don't have. He's a man of honor, and he's the kind of person we want to see serving the people of this country, because he's selfless. In fact, he's one of our icons. We look up to them. The young generation of our youth, our men and women in Kano, look up to them as icons, as they inspire us. Therefore, my colleagues, I don't want to bore you so much talking about this man. I'm sure since I told you ab initio that he's a friend, an associate of our president, President Buhari, you know what he stands for. Please, I urge you to allow this selfless, a man of honor, integrity, to please bow and go. I so submit. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Senator Ibrahim Shekaro.
Thank you, Mr. President. Sitting as chairman, my very distinguished colleagues. Mr. President, the CV of the nominee speaks for itself. He is an experienced and knowledgeable manager, the type a Jerry Ghana will say manages well. He has been managing so well, as you can see from the CV. He has been moving from one sector of the economy to another. There is no doubt that certainly this nominee, if approved, and Mr. President brings him on board into the Federal Executive Council, he will add value to the workings of Mr. President. I therefore, Mr. President, join my other colleagues in pleading with distinguished senators to grant this nominee on the basis of his experience in managing affairs of the economy of the nation, to grant him the honor of taking a bow and go. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Distinguished senators, is it the wish of this Senate that the nominee takes a bow and go? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Take a bow.
Sabo Nanono from Kano State has been screened by the Senate. He's now trying to leave the Red Chamber. Well, this nominee particularly is interested in agricultural revolution. He says that Nigeria has the potential of being world's richest country with agriculture. Yeah, he was able to explain that with the proper political will, that Nigeria has a very wide range of economic prosperity, that a tendency for Nigeria to become so rich is there, in respect of its fertile land and weather. He's been assisting rural farmers to improve on their agricultural production. Yeah, it is there. And some of the senators who spoke also concurred. Some of them who knew him some of them who know him says he has been a committed party faithful, and also he's been a committed professional. Some of them described him as an incorruptible and upright Nigerian. Well, some of them said he's a very close friend of the president, and so one had to say that birds of the same feather, they say flocks together. I said yes, that his incorruptible nature, it's what endeared him to the president.